Welcome to the Strokeonaut channel. My name is Chris. I had a stroke, and now I love aliens. Let's get to the new video.
The Strokeonaut. Finding the truth.
The Strokeonaut always says, we are not alone. We have never been alone.
It's about former Lieutenant Colonel Karl Nell. He just, in an interview with the Paradigm Institute, he said that he thinks this round of disclosure that started in 2017 is over. It's not going any further. So I have a small clip. I'll play it here. We'll talk about it on the other side.
So I guess the postulate I've got is that this recent cycle of disclosure that we might say started in 2017 with the Navy videos and Lou Elizondo coming out and as a whistleblower making various assertions, that cycle of disclosure is effectively ended with the failure to pass the UAP Disclosure Act and with sort of the fourth or third in a series of hearings on the topic that I think increasingly have moved the needle less and less. And so in some sense, it seems like the people that have been at the forefront of this recent cycle have said what they've had to say. It's starting to become stale in the sense of being repetitive. The conversation isn't necessarily advancing to new topics, but really more importantly, the mechanism in order to which to address these whistleblower issues is not gaining traction. Particularly to kind of maybe amplify upon that, I think the essence of that Schumer-Rounds amendment was to create a management structure that you could argue perhaps mirrored the original process that was maybe put in place by Truman and Eisenhower to manage this topic, but to do it in a manner that was assured to have proper congressional oversight and proper transparency and accountability to elected officials. Which in this Congress has written themselves out of any type of way forward, and without a control group to manage the policy aspect, then the government's really not going to be in a position to deal with ramification of any released material. And so increasing whistleblowers, increasing attention is going to force the government into a reactive mode and really a hunker down mode. So my view is that this cycle essentially has ended, and we should take stock of what worked and what didn't work to think about maybe a new way forward.
So, what do you guys think? I'll leave links to the video. He said a lot of other stuff, and it's a long video. I think it's like 2 hours long. Richard Dolan's in it, and a few other people. So it's a good video. I suggest that you go and watch it. But do you guys think disclosure's over? Disclosure via the government is over? Because that's what he thinks. And if you don't know him, you can Google him. He's a pretty smart guy. He's the one that said in a conference that UAPs are real. We have been in touch with them. He got a little, he did get heat, but he got a lot of, not controversy, a lot of attention, because when he said that a couple of years ago, you can just Google his name. I'll put the name in the link, and you can watch the video where he says that we have engaged with non-human intelligence, and he gives all his, Lieutenant Colonel and all his credentials being in the service and how he knows this. So he's an interesting guy, a very interesting guy. So like I've said in my previous videos, we've got to start vetting these whistleblowers that come forward. Like the last video I did, you can go watch it. When the guy did an interview with Ross Coulthart, he said he had him and I think it was 13 or 16 other witnesses. But no, I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's reached out to the witness to see if his story is true. And all that, it's another video. You can go back and look at that video if you want. I delved into it a little. Lieutenant Colonel, but Nell thinks that disclosure is dead. And maybe this is one of the reasons, because you keep getting these whistleblowers or witnesses, and nobody's following through and everything. So I think the general public's just going, what's going on with these alien people? That's what they call us, I think. And so we've got to get more credible stuff to get disclosure to come out. But I think disclosure's already you're already out with all the ranks of people with credentials that say this stuff is real. What they want is like the president or the director of CIA, the director of national intelligence to come out on TV and say, yes, aliens are real. And folks, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think the disclosure movement's dead. Maybe it's stalling a little bit because, like he said, it's all the other stuff that's coming out is just tired, the old same old that's been coming out for 2017. We need new fresh information. And if you watch the full video, that's kind of the gist of what he was saying. And I agree with that. We've got to get more witnesses, better evidence. Well, now it's going to be even more difficult because with AI, how do you know if you're looking at something is real or not? Because with AI videos, all these videos, and if you got 30 videos, and who has time to look through all of them? Could take weeks to figure out, and you have to have the skills to know, is that a real video? Is that a phony? Because it's just going to muddy the waters, and I think that's what they want. I think they want to muddy the waters, so we'll just give up on this. That's what, and go back to like it was in the 90s and the 80s when I was young, when I first got into it, and before you had the internet. So all you could do is read a book to find out about the stuff. Maybe a TV show, but there was no internet like we have nowadays. The skills we have to do research nowadays is amazing. So in other news, let's see if I can find the clip and I'll put it in the video probably around right here.
Very, very recently, I always thought it was nonsense that NASA cut the feed, and I now realize someone is cutting the feed because I've seen it. I've actually seen it happen.
Ross Coulthart, apparently there was a report that during a Starlink launch the other day, they caught a Tic Tac in the video, and someone asked him on his show a question about that, and he says he relates an issue, an incident where he was there and he saw something on the screen. He noticed. He told the director of I can't remember the name. I'll put the clip up if I can find it, of the NASA, of the building that we're in, and then they just cut the feed like they normally do. So he says he has seen NASA cut feeds when something anomalous shows up. So that's an interesting bit of news. Very interesting, which we all know that was going on anyways, but very interesting that he witnessed it. In other news, Dr. Beatrice Villarellos, hope I'm pronouncing that right, her Palomar Observatory papers were just peer-reviewed and published. So I'm going to find those. I'll put a link to those down below. And that's the study where she used plates from before we had satellites in space in the 50s. And comparing the plates, she found what appears to be satellites or something in orbit, orbiting the planet before there were any satellites by us in space. We didn't have the technology. So in analyzing the plates, she has found evidence of that, and it was just peer-reviewed, and it was accepted, and it was published. So that's a little interesting bit of news that they apparently found. I don't know if the study's conclusive, but they look like they're artificial, and they were put there in the 50s from analyzing photographic plates that they have. There's some information on Twitter. I'll probably see if I can find it. And I'll put a link to that in the papers where you guys can click and read on that. So it's another interesting bit of news happening this week in the old UAP world. Very interesting. There's a tweet by a young lady named Hollywood. She's a tweeter. I think she goes by the handle that UAP girl, where she put a tweet breaking down in plain English the scientific paper about the satellite stuff. So I'll put a link with that and put a link in the description, and I'll also throw maybe a screenshot up here of it. You can freeze frame and read it in here or not. So I'll put a copy of the tweet on there, but I put the link in below so you can just click it and read it. It's a very interesting post. So a lot of information in it, a lot of good data. And then there's another interview. It's about 3 hours on of a guy by the name of Darren Sherman on Jesse Michaels' show, American Alchemy, where he says he's a hybrid alien and his mother was injected with DNA or something to that effect. And he worked for I think it was the Army or the Air Force, and he could telepathically talk to aliens. So that's another fascinating. It's like a 3 hour long video. So I'll put a link to that one down below. It's something else you should watch. So a lot of news coming on here. Probably in the past week that is interesting. So I haven't had a chance to watch it because it's a 3-hour video. So I haven't had a chance to watch it. I've seen clips of it. And it seems very fascinating, but I didn't delve in it too much because I haven't had a chance to watch the video. So when I do, we'll probably maybe do another video on it. But it seems very interesting. His from what I could see, his credentials are valid. I think he was a tech sergeant. But he makes some wild claims. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch the video, so I don't know how vetted. Usually I can watch it and can tell, well, if he has witnesses, were we interviewing any witnesses? Because we're going back to the same old thing. People can say everything, but you need proof. They say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But like I said, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't want to leave a link again in the bottom. I could have put a lot of links in this video now. That means I got to work more. Another bit of news, the Age of Disclosure video is going to be coming out on Amazon Prime. I think it's November 21st. I could be wrong on that. But that's the video, the documentary everybody's says it's going to be the greatest thing in the world for disclosure. To be honest with you, I don't know. I have never seen it. I have a funny feeling. The only information is going to be in there is everything we in the community already know. That's my opinion. I mean, if you were a person outside this and you watch it, you probably think, wow, that's cool and this and that. But I think for us, I don't think there's going to be any new information in there. But then again, I could be wrong. So I'm not going to poo-hoo it until I watch it. But I'm not going to be surprised if it's just, to be honest with you, just another documentary that's not, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Because they keep saying it's going to revolutionary information. We've heard that before. Always kind of fell flat. So fingers crossed. But I don't know. I'm not holding my hopes that that's going to be a great video. But it might be entertaining. But are we going to get any new data? Then you guys have seen the trailer. It's, standard people saying some extraordinary things. But even the trailer's out, so it's getting some press in the mainstream press because I think Dan Farah is the director. He's kind of a famous guy, so it's kind of getting some traction in Hollywood. So maybe it'll be a great groundbreaking documentary. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. I know I'm a Debbie Downer, but the hype and all. Usually when you just hype all this stuff up and then you watch it and you go, okay, there's nothing new here. It's nothing that we haven't seen before. Like I said, he may get new people to watch it into the fold, yeah. But for new data and evidence, I'm skeptical it's going to be that great. But I could be wrong. Like I said, it's going to be on Amazon Prime, so anyone with a Prime subscription can see it. So it should get a wide. It's good that it's Amazon Prime, and a lot of people will be able to watch it. So I'm looking forward to watching it, and we'll see what it reveals. But like I said, I'll put those links in the video description down below of all the things that we just talked about. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe. That'd be great because I have like 93 subscribers. So like I said, I'm just starting. I made some new channel bumpers that I'll put in this video, like a little beginning bumper in the beginning of the video and one at the end that'll add in. See if you guys like them. Leave me a comment if you like them or you think, because it didn't take long to make, but see if you like them or you don't like them, and leave any comments below what I could talk about more, less, your ideas, anything. I would appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
The Strokeonaut. Finding the truth.
The truth has no agenda.